How can I, 22F, become less emotionally dependent on partner, 22M? Does anyone have any advice about becoming less emotionally dependent on a partner? My mental health is awful, it always has been, and that's why I avoid relationships. I become overly attached, overly dependent, and extremely hypersensitive to every little thing they do. If my boyfriend doesn't respond within a certain time frame, I get extremely anxious that something has happened, and then that feeling becomes me being nervous that he's ignoring me and doesn't want to talk to me anymore. We discuss it all the time. I pick up on things he does and overplay it in my head. I can't live like this and it's ruining me, him, and our relationship. I don't know what to do. Any advice is greatly appreciated. Too long didn't read. How can I become a less dependent/reliant on partner as my anxiety is constantly down? I see a therapist and am in a relationship. It's really helpful as I feel like it's a checks and balances system. I discuss the relationship with my therapist at length to make sure I'm being a healthy, balanced and positive partner, as I have deep-rooted relationship issues. It sounds like you have anxious attachment. I'd seek therapy with a therapist that specializes in emotionally focused therapy, EFT. In the meantime, try doing some reading about the topic. It would be helpful to know your partner's attachment style so you two can understand each other and determine if you're compatible. For instance, if you're anxious, you're likely attracted to someone who is avoidant, and that will only exacerbate both of your issues. It can work if both of you are willing to do the work to become secure, but it's much easier to pair up with someone who is also secure and can help you become secure too. It sounds like you need to seek some professional support for your mental health. You've taken the first and arguably most important step of realizing that your behavior is unhealthy. A therapist will be able to give you the tools to manage your anxiety appropriately, which will not only make you a better girlfriend, but will also make you feel better in life generally. I was exactly like how you sound. Emotionally dependent. What helped me a bunch was reading about codependency and love addiction. Ask yourself, if you really believed you were worthy of a happy and healthy relationship, deep on the inside, why would you automatically feel like something was wrong and need positive feedback all the time? I believe everyone is worthy of a healthy relationship unless they themselves are untrustworthy or actively destructive in their relationship or neglectful. For me, it all boiled down to self-worth. I needed to finally believe I was worthy of love and start to behave as such. I set healthy boundaries, started self-care/love, and I learned to put my needs first. This sounds selfish but isn't if done right. Books have been written on this subject. Tearing down old belief systems is a major part of the healing process. My friend cheated on her partner and now I don't know how to feel. I, 25F, have been friends with B, 25F, since we were 3 years old. We're both quite open and liberal people, but I've just found out that she cheated on her ex of 1 year J, 26M, with her current boyfriend R, 28M, and I have some strong emotions about it. She told us all that they split up due to his mental health, depression, and she needed to make the right decision for herself. I didn't pass judgment on this. I wasn't in this relationship, so the ins and outs weren't known to me, and I know mental health can be difficult to navigate. I wanted what was best for her, and if she thought this was her best route, then fine. They split up 2 years ago and she started seeing R soon after. R made a Christmas post in which he said they've celebrated 3 amazing Christmases together. I said, "Don't you mean 2? To which he replied, "Lol, it's been 3 years. Time sure flies fast." I messaged my friend and said, "If you've been together 3 years, then you were with R when you were still with J," and she admitted that she cheated with R for the entirety of her relationship with J, but didn't leave him because R was married at the time. I honestly don't know what to say. There is not justifiable excuse to cheat on your partner, especially for that long. Knowing that both B and R lied to their partners for almost an entire year is making me think differently of them, especially B. She let him believe she loved him when she was lying to him the entire time. Too long didn't read. Fiend cheated on her ex for a year with her current boyfriend, who we found out was married when they were together, and I feel uncomfortable about it. Once upon a time I was in a similar situation. Someone I knew was having a difficult time with their husband for 2 years. The person openly shared the difficulties they were having and how the marriage was falling apart. Come to find out, this particular person was cheating on their husband for the last 2 years. What a coincidence. You're having so many problems but you're also seeing someone on the side? What's that all about? If you don't wanna be with somebody, leave them, or realize that the reason you're having problems in one relationship is because you're spending your time preoccupied with another relationship. What got to me the most was that while all these problems were being discussed in the 2 years, never once was I made aware that they were cheating on their significant other. So, I felt like, why are you comfortable sharing all these bad things but don't really want to give me the reason for why those bad things are going on? I no longer have a relationship with this person. I think it would fair if you let her know you are disappointed in her immoral behavior and that you never plan to be an accomplice, lie or facilitate her cheating. If she makes a stink and doesn't want to be your friend anymore, so be it. She made her bed. I'd feel uncomfortable too. I'd feel even more uncomfortable that neither of them showed enough remorse to avoid posting that on social media. Lack of empathy in that post alone is astounding. Clearly other people must have known he was married 3 years ago, so posting that is indicative of really poor judgment. They could have said happy anniversary without stating a time frame or calling the year they spent as affair partners a relationship. It's not just that they were okay lying to and cheating on their respective partners, they are also so self-absorbed that they made that post without any awareness of how it would land for those they hurt. Imagine how it must feel for his wife to see, or have mutual friends see if they don't follow each other, that post. You can still be her friend, if you want to, while stating you aren't okay with her behavior and are concerned about it, about the fact that she lied so easily to you and others, about her choice in partner, her wanton disregard for the feelings of others. Basically about this whole thing. True friendship isn't just blindly supporting everything your friends do, even shitty things. You can also decide you don't want to be friends with her after this, since it does indicate some pretty concerning things in terms of her capacity to be a good friend. But I think it starts with you telling her you're very uncomfortable in light of this revelation and seeing what she says in response. There isn't any excuse for cheating, of course. But you need to decide for yourself if her actions are reprehensible enough that it is worth completely cutting off a friend you've known since childhood. They well may be, of course. Assuming you have other mutual friends, it may make more sense to cut her off, and it also may make sense to just downgrade the level of friendship and know you can't trust her in the future, based on the other implications. My longest standing friendship was with this girl that ended up cheating on her BF of 3 years and also cheated on the guy she cheated on him with. I couldn't understand how she could treat someone she supposedly loved that way. I stopped talking to her because I don't want to be friends with someone with such a broken moral compass. In your case, it'd be completely fine to not want to continue that friendship. You have a difference of values and you might feel like how I felt when I found out about my old friend, that you can't trust them anymore. That's where I'm at right now. How can you lie to someone you're supposed to love? It doesn't sit right with me at all. I'd feel betrayed, as they've proven not to be the honest person you though they were. I 100% agree that there's no justification for cheating. If a relationship isn't working, then break it off. Don't cheat. That's just shitty all around, and I'd start pushing them away. If that's how honest they are with their partner, I wouldn't expect them to be much better to their friends, and I only want friends that I can rely on, not liars. My 26M wife, 27F, and my brother, 27M, have gotten super close, and it's to the point where it is starting to seem weird to me. I'm not sure what to do. I've been married to my wife for 3 years now. She's been a natural flirt her whole life. I've known this since we dated. She harmlessly flirts with guys from time to time and it's always nothing too far or too crazy. I never have been too uncomfortable with this, as she claims to only do it when I'm around because she knows that it makes me want her more. She just likes the attention too. She has claimed she has never cheated on me or any of her exes. I believe her, as I feel that I have no reason not to. I'm on her phone all of the time and never notice anything suspicious. Her and my brother have hit it off well ever since they first met. The three of us hang out a lot and they do alone occasionally. I've never had a problem with this either. It never really hit me that something could be going on between them. My wife and I have a pretty nice house. I was lucky to land my dream job and make good money. My brother has been less fortunate though. He dropped out of high school and has had a few stunts in jail. Nonetheless, I still love him and enjoy his company. He is always welcome over at our house. He doesn't live there, but he stays over a good bit. He doesn't have a home, so he's either staying with us or at his friends. Even with all of his problems, he has always been the ladies' man. I guess that is where some of my worries have came from. I care that many women find him very attractive. My wife works from home now, so there's a good bit of the time that they are at home alone together. At first I didn't think anything of it. Everything seemed normal to me. Over time I've noticed more and more weird things though. Sometimes when I come home they will be laying on our bed or my brother's bed together. They aren't cuddling, but it's still weird to me. Sometimes my wife will only have her underwear on when around him. She has seen him naked a few times. One of the times when she walked in on him naked, she whistled at him. I couldn't tell if it was to be funny or flirty. He will also walk around close to naked from time to time. She really almost treats us both the same. It's like we are both her husband. She hugs him, kisses him on the cheek, and flirts with him. Recently I came home to see her cuddling with him on the couch. I'd quiet was this that took me to my breaking point, but it was. I finally asked them what they were doing. She just said we are relaxing. What does it look like? I snapped and told her to get up and for him to leave. He was confused as to what was going on. I cursed at him and told him that he needed to leave now. He looked confused but eventually walked out. My wife asked what that was about. I told her that I was finally fed up with how they've been with each other and that it seems like there's something going on between them. She got mad at me for accusing her and said that their relationship was completely healthy and normal and that nothing was going on. She said she sees him like her brother. She yelled at me some more and then locked herself in our room. She has barely spoken to me at all since. My brother hasn't been back since that either. I don't want to ruin my relationship with either of them. I realize that I may not have handled this correctly, but I just was not feeling comfortable anymore. What should I do from here? I really am so lost. Too long didn't read. My wife has been flirty with my brother and is constantly alone with him while I'm at work. I tolerated a similar, but far tamer, situation for a while because my fiancé had precious few friends. They ended up fucking. Don't make the assumption that everyone shares your values. Clearly, you would never get this chummy with your brother's significant other, but also clearly, they don't share your values or your judgment. So what other values don't you share with them? Do they, perhaps, view sex as not that big of a deal, and more casually than yourself? After my ex cheated, looking back through our relationship I could see various differences in our values that, if laid out into an equation, would lead to a high probability that she was always going to cheat. I obviously can't know for certain, maybe they didn't cheat, but I think there is a good chance that something happened. Even if it didn't, and even if it never would have, you also have the right to have boundaries and the right to stick up for those boundaries. If your wife and brother can't respect that, then it is very likely that they don't have your best interest in mind. I am sincerely sorry that you are dealing with this.